If you're about to get married, you need to avoid the following financial mistakes that can bury you into financial struggles maybe for the next 2 to 5 years. Hey everybody, my name is Justin Shedi, and in this video I'm going to share with you the financial mistakes that I made before and after I entered into marriage that made me stuck for the next 2 years into my marriage. And I'm sharing this because I believe it can avoid you going into the same mistakes, and maybe you know these mistakes, but hearing from me, it can change your mind and maybe influence you into taking more care when you're navigating into your new marriage. Mistake number one is expensive, unaffordable wedding preparation. I know this is the very sensitive area to men and newly wedded or a couple or a married couple to be. When you are preparing for your wedding, most of you guys vision the day to be good, want your day to be memorable. So that means you are going to do many things, maybe, and most of the things in the wedding, they cost money. And that is the problem, because as you are navigating that area, you are so emotionally involved, you're so emotionally invested that it can block your rational mind into understanding that you are overspending, or you are expecting things that you cannot afford. I know there are people who can afford expensive weddings, but if you cannot afford, you need to be careful in this area, because many couples are in debts because they wanted expensive weddings and things that they cannot afford, and finally they are in debt, they cannot get out, and their new marriage is struggling financially. They cannot help themselves out, they regret, and maybe it will take them 2 to 5 years to just be stable again. So when you're planning for your wedding, you need to sit down and to write everything that you need on the first draft, and then prepare another draft that will include many things that are necessary, because sometimes you plan for your wedding and you plan for things that are not important. So when you're planning for your wedding, you need to have a draft and of everything that you desire to have into your wedding day, and then you draft a second list of the things that you think are important from that first list that you desire. So if you do not need maybe expensive venues, maybe you do not need expensive garments, you need to navigate into that and understand that it's only 24 hours. It can that 24 hours can make you into debts. Maybe you cannot get out into the next 2 to 3 years. So you need to be careful when you are preparing for your wedding day, because it can cost so much, and because you believe in your mind that is your day and you are ready to spend, you're emotionally involved, you cannot think straight, and that can affect how you spend and the things that you plan. And most of the time people plan things that they cannot afford, so they go and borrow money expecting that the guests that will come will compensate, will give them gifts, maybe money that they can pay off their debts. And unfortunately, most of the people are surprised, because sometimes guests can give you gifts like items, not necessarily money. So you cannot start selling those things just to pay off your debts. It will be bad for you. So you need to depend on what you can afford and not what you think you can afford, or maybe being delusional about the plan that you want. Never borrow money because of the wedding, because wedding is something that you can customize according to your budget. So you don't need to borrow another extra money expecting that you're going to pay them, because if you can pay them, why couldn't you not afford it before? Why couldn't you save that money before the wedding day? So the fact that you're going to borrow money, that means you are planning for things that you cannot afford. Mistake number 2 is going for expensive honeymoons. I know you want to go to nice hotels, enjoy meals in the places that you've never been before, and make it memorable, but you need to know that honeymoon is only 3 to 5 days, and then after that you come into the real world that doesn't care about honeymoon or weddings. You need to have a plan, you need to have money, you need to have something that you can make your life go. So if you're going to expensive honeymoons, that means you will use so much money that you cannot afford. And please, you need to understand that this video, I'm talking about things that you cannot afford. If you can afford going to five-star hotels, maybe the islands, you do it if you can afford. But if you can't afford, please make sure that you minimize that cost of honeymoon. Honeymoon is so important and it's something very good. But if it takes even the last penny that you have, that is not for you. Just find a modest hotel, a normal price that you can go and enjoy. Not necessarily travel abroad or into tourism destination that you cannot afford. You can enjoy for 5 days and then come back into the trouble of having no money. And I can tell you that if you don't have money, it's going to be stressful, especially if you are not working and you're not expecting to receive any money very soon. You can struggle in many things in your newly wedding. Mistake number 3 is expensive housing. I know that you guys are newly wedding or you are planning to have this wonderful home and you're expecting that guests will come to you, so you are planning, maybe we have this big house with guest rooms. When our relatives are coming, they can have a nice place to sleep, and maybe you can have a big family, relatives coming to greet you. That's what you think, but I can tell you that you do not need to do that, because most of the time guests will come because they know there is a place to stay. But if you have such a small house that is convenient to you guys, guests can come one day and then they can leave tomorrow, and sometimes they can come and not even sleep. But if you're planning to rent big houses, just because you want guests to come and to see that you are living large, you are living in a good home, that can cost you money, because guests can come and spend like 2 to 5 days into your house, then they leave, and then you are staying with that big house that you cannot afford. So you need to find a house that will resonate with your income, that will resonate with what you need, not because you are expecting guests. You don't need to live beyond your means. You need to live into your budget, because you need to save. You need to just move on with life. There is many things that you need to prepare yourself for. Maybe prepare for your upcoming children. You need to plan for that. You need to save, because you're starting a family and you're going to need that money. So you don't need to rent big houses that you do not afford. After we got married, we had the same idea. We thought that people would be coming to our house, so we rented this big house and we are paying like 400,000 shillings per month. And bad enough, we did not afford that house, but we kept on living that house for more than a year, and it made us very, very financially unstable, because I used to borrow money just to pay off for that house. And after leaving that house for a while, you get used to it and you feel shame to leave the house because people already came to your house and see that you are living large. Going to a small house it was no option for us. So every now and then I was struggling, borrowing money to friends just to finance that house that we actually didn't need. Guests were coming, but not that regularly. So yeah, in 2 months you can just have 1 guest or 2 guests that would not even spend a day at your house. So we were struggling financially just because of the house that we thought we needed. So you need to avoid these financial mistakes, because they can seem regular or small, but they can make you into financial struggles, and it's not good. So please, if you're about to get married, just take heed, be intentional into what you are doing. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you do not understand my English, please write in the comment down below. And if you want to correct my English, I am still learning, please write down below. I'll be reading your comment.